This week I'm going to show you how to convert your colour images into black and white with Adobe Photoshop. This week I'm going to be showing you how to convert your images from colour into black and white with Adobe Photoshop. Welcome back, my name is Brendan Diver and each week I'm going to give you free tutorials on all things photography related. If there's a video that you'd like to see in the future, please let me know in the comment section below of this video and I'll try and get that video created for you in the future. If you'd like to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell notification icon, you won't miss any videos in the future. So, I'm going to show you this week how to convert your images using Photoshop. It's really simple and there's a lot of things that you can actually do with Photoshop. So let's get straight into it right away there. So the first thing I always do is I go up here to the right hand side where it says layers. And this is the image that I have on the screen here. Now purely just as a precautionary measure in case I make a mistake or do something unexpected, I always like to create a duplicate copy of the image that I'm working on. So I'm going to click on this image here where it says background. Then on my Windows machine, it's a Windows machine that I always use, not Mac, I'm going to hold on my Control key and the letter J, and this will create a new layer. Now, what I'm going to do is, the good thing about this is if I make a mistake, I've still got the original image underneath, so it's just a safeguard. So I'm going to go up here to the top where it says image. I'm going to go then to adjustments, and I go then to black and white. Now, what I can do is I can pick out certain parts of the image that I want to change or tweak, make darker or brighter. So what I'm going to do is this first option here where it says the red. I'm going to just slide this all the way over to the left hand side to show you what it does, all the way over to the right hand side, and it's just picking out any part of the image that's got kind of red tones to it there. So again, I'm just going to make a little change to that thing, maybe leave that about there. I'm going to move this yellow slider on over, and you see how it affects the whole of the image. So I think in this case I'm going to leave it to about there. Next one, I'm going to go down to my green slider, and surprisingly it doesn't make that much of a difference on this image. You'll actually see down around this part here, just this section, when I move the green slider, it just makes a very slight change, so I think I'll just bring it over to about there. Then I'm going to go to my cyan channel, and you see it brings a little bit more detail, a little bit more punch into the sky here. So again, if I just exaggerate this all over to the left, all the way over to the right hand side, you'll see the difference. So again, this is purely subjective, it's just personal choice what you like to see in an image. Personally, I like to give the skies a little bit kind of drama in black and white. I'm going to go over now to the blues channel, slide this all the way over to the left hand side, all the way over. So I'm going to bring this here maybe back to about there maybe, and then the magentas, and see how this looks. Now sometimes some of the colour channels, if you exaggerate, you get a funny kind of an effect here. So you just need to keep an eye on that, make sure that you don't overdo it there. Again, you'll see if I go over to the right hand side, it gives this funny kind of effect. So I think if I just bring this, say, to about there, perhaps. And I'm going to click OK. Now, again, if you make a mistake, you'll see here I can switch off this top layer by clicking the little eye. Gives you the original version underneath, and now the new edited one. But we're not finished there. We're going to go over to the top here to the toolbar, go over to Image, going to go to Adjustments, and this time to Brightness and Contrast. Now, all I'm going to change here on this is, I'm not going to change the brightness, but I'm just going to show you how it actually looks if you do want to adjust the brightness. So again, I'm just going to leave this here as it was originally, and I'm just going to change the contrast on this to see how it looks. So I think maybe in black and white I'm going to give it just maybe a little bit more kick there. Click OK. Next thing, I'm going to go back up to Image again and Adjustments, and this time select the Levels option. Now you'll see here on these options, you see where it says Control and L. this is a little shortcut if you remember. So if you hold down the control key and the letter L, it'll take up this option. Curves, control M, invert, control I, and so on. And this is across all the different options on Photoshop. You'll actually find this on a lot of different programs, this feature, not just Photoshop. So I'm going to click on levels. And what we can do is we can adjust the darks, the midtones, and the highlights. So if I slide, this is my shadow, the very dark part here, slide this on over. I can actually make the real dark shadows even darker or can brighten them. I think I'll give that just a little bit of a kick there. I'm going to bring the highlights back. You can give them a little bit more punch. See if I just blow them out, slide it on over. So maybe just going to give that maybe just a tiny bit there, and then we can adjust the midtones. So I think just about there will look good. And again, we just switch off before and after. Now, if I go up to the top again where it says image, there's another option we can use, adjustments, then go to curves. Now, you can use either levels or curves, or you can use a combination of the two, but I'm just going to show you how this works. So I always like to do this in kind of an S shape. It gives you a better look to the image. So if I bring this way here, you'll see it's bringing more depth, if you like, to the shadows, to the dark parts. I'm going to bring up the highlights a bit more. So you see now it's this kind of a S curve that we have. Again, maybe I'm just going to bring maybe the blacks not as much. Maybe back to there. And if we go then to, I think we might go back then to adjustments again and just click on levels. I'm just going to bring up these dark areas, the shadows up a little bit. Maybe like that, and sorry, not output level, sorry, the slider here. Maybe bring the slider button here, this middle one here. Again, this is all purely personal choice. Click OK. So this is the finished image. If we go back now and we'll just switch on and off the top layer that we've converted and the bottom layer, and you can see the difference. Now, if you want to combine these two layers together, flatten them, I'm going to click on the top, hold down the control key and click on the bottom one. And now I'm going to hold down the control key on my keyboard and the letter E. And this will now merge the two images together. And that's how you can convert a colour image into black and white. So we're going to go on to the next example here. So for Lighthouse, not too far away from me. Now, by the way, all these images have been edited beforehand, so these are not the original raw files. These are JPEG files that I've already edited. I'm going to click on Layers, click on the background here again. The control key and the letter J will create a new layer. Going to go up to Image at the top and Adjustments. And I'm going to show you another option, what you can do. Some people use this, but I don't find it that good. Is if we go to Hue Saturation and just drag the saturation button all the way over to the left, this will basically just strip all the colour from your image and give it kind of a black and white, but I just don't think it gives you the same level of detail as the option I'm going to show you next. So we're just going to cancel this. Going to go to Image, Adjustments, Black and White. Just move this over to the right hand side. And again, I'm just going to tweak each one of these layers. I just usually work from the top and go all the way down to C. So you might like that kind of a look there. Some people might prefer maybe a little bit more punch. So I'm going to try it to about there. Go to the yellows. And you see this is actually going to affect the shrubs, the green grass. There must be more of a yellow tone to the grass here. It's not pure green. Click on the greens. Funny, the greens don't give us much of a change as you would think. Click on cyans, and this is going to adjust the sky. Again, I always like to give the sky to make it kind of pop and stand out. Click on the blues. That's just really making that pop there. Try the other way, it's kind of blown out. So just down to say about there. I'm going to go back up to go to magentas next. And I can't really see much of a difference there. So I think if I'm going to maybe adjust these other options here as well, just say like that, yellows. Click OK. Now there is an auto option here where it'll do it automatically for you, but I'd rather be selective and pick what areas of the image that I want to be in black and white and change the characteristics of it. Now I can go back up to image again, adjustments, click on brightness and contrast. If I want to give this image maybe a little bit more brightness, I could slide this button across and maybe just to give it a little bit of a pop as well with the contrast. Again, I always think with black and white you can get away with more contrast in an image than you can in colour. Again, for this one here, I'm going to go up to image, adjustments, and I'm going to try levels. So just going to drag the slider button here for the shadows, see what that does. I'm going to go up here to the highlights, bring the highlighter slider tool over, and then just move these mid-tones here to see what effect this gives. So I think I might bring the highlights back again. Now again, this is totally subjective, but if you play about with it, you'll see what will actually work for yourself. So this is the before and after. And I always think the skies, when you've got nice blue skies with white fluffy clouds, they seem to really, really work well with black and white. So again, I'm going to hold down the top layer, hold down my control key, click on the background, hold down Control and E, and now I've merged the two images, the two different layers together as one. So the final image here, we're going to have a look at this one here of an old Irish Celtic scene, and going to make another duplicate layer of this background. So Control and J. I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments again, go to Black and White, and again I'm just going to slide these options about just to see what kind of effect they have. Now just be very, very careful when you're moving your highlight, the reds here for example in this image, and this applies to anywhere where there's not maybe highlights. You don't want to blow them out so that you can't see the detail. You always want to just have enough that you've got the highlight, the detail can be seen in the highlights. You don't want it to be blown out completely. So perhaps maybe about there. I'm going to try the yellows. Again, just slide this back here again. Greens. Greens, funny, haven't made that much of a difference, if any. The cyans. So again, you can make it really, really dark. Just went up here. Now again, because I'm pushing the cyans, you're going to get a lot more grain here in the background. See, just round here, it's very grainy, noisy looking. So I'm just going to bring this back a bit. Just bring it up a little bit there like that. Now you can actually get by with more grain in a black and white image, especially if you're, say, photographing a wedding and you're in a very, very low light environment like a church and you're not allowed to use flash. If your image is in colour and it's very, very grainy, convert it to black and white and you can actually get some really, really nice cool images. So I'm just going to go here to the blue, see how this looks, and slide it the way over again. So I think maybe perhaps they're there. And again, magentas, just see the difference that these make. So again, I think maybe we'll leave it to about there. Click OK. I'm going to go back up to Image again, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. And I'm just going to play about the contrast on this image, I think. Give it a little bit of punch there. Again, OK. Back up to Image, Adjustments and Levels. And I'm going to play about with the shadows here. Maybe give it a tiny bit of a kick. I always kind of tend to work with the shadows, the very dark parts first, and then the highlights. Say like that. And then what I do then is I always work with kind of the mid-tones. I just kind of around that. So I think if we leave it at that there, and again if we go to the before, which I really like in colour, but it looks nice too in black and white. Sometimes black and white images can give you more motion when you're looking at the image when you strip away the colour. So again, I'm going to go to the top layer, hold down my control key, click on the bottom layer, and then control and E, and it's now merged the two images together. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it there. If you'd like to give this little video a like, subscribe and click the bell notification icon, you won't miss any videos in the future. And I'll see you again next week, and thank you for watching.